The country we call France isn't named after a river, a mountain, or a Roman province. It's named after a tribe of Germanic warriors who couldn't read Latin and worshipped pagan gods. The Franks, a name that traveled through 15 centuries, from tribal identity to medieval kingdom to modern nation. So how did these so-called barbarians convince the most powerful institution in the Western world, the Catholic Church, that they were God's chosen people? The answer lies in a strategic decision made around 500 CE that shaped the map of Europe forever. The Franks were one of many Germanic tribes pressing against Rome's borders. Around 300 CE, Constantine's father settled them in the Low Countries, modern Belgium and the Netherlands, as federati. That's a technical term, meaning allied armies who fought for Rome in exchange for land and the payment. The Franks even claimed descent from Trojan refugees, linking themselves to Rome's founding myths, probably invented, but it shows their ambition. And they didn't want to destroy Rome. They wanted to become Rome. The Merovingians ruled the Franks. The dynasty's name comes from Merovec, a possibly legendary ancestor. Our best evidence for early Merovingian power comes from a grave discovered in 1657, the tomb of King Childeric, who died around 481 CE. Most of the grave goods were stolen in 1831, but the inventory survives, and it reveals something fascinating. This wasn't a simple barbarian burial. Childeric's grave contained 3 distinct categories of objects, each telling a different story about who the Franks were becoming: Byzantine diplomatic gifts, a crystal globe, 100 gold coins, 200 silver coins, a gold bracelet. The Eastern Roman Emperor recognized Childeric as a legitimate ruler. Frankish warrior symbols, a horse's head in precious metal, a cloak embroidered with golden cicadas, traditional tribal prestige markers, and Roman elements, a signet ring reading King Childeric in Latin, showing him with long flowing hair. That long hair mattered. It was the sacred mark of Merovingian royal power, never to be cut. Childeric's son Clovis transformed this hybrid identity into an empire. He unified most of Roman Gaul, pushing the Visigoths south into Spain. This is the territorial foundation of what would become France, but military conquest alone doesn't explain Frankish dominance. The Visigoths had conquered more territory. The Ostrogoths held Italy itself. The Vandals controlled wealthy North Africa. Yet all 3 kingdoms collapsed within a few generations. The Franks endured for centuries. The difference came down to religion. Most barbarian tribes had converted to Arian Christianity. Arianism denied that Christ was fully divine, making him a created being subordinate to God the Father. The Catholic Church considered this heresy. And here's why that mattered politically. Arian kings ruled over Catholic populations. Catholic bishops saw these rulers as heretics. The church hierarchy, the most organized institution surviving from Roman times, refused to fully cooperate with Arian rulers. The Visigoths, Ostrogoths, and Vandals all faced this problem. They converted to Christianity, but the wrong version. A permanent barrier separated them from the institution that controlled literacy, administration, and spiritual legitimacy across the former Roman world. Around 500 CE, Clovis made a different choice. He converted directly from paganism to Catholic Christianity, bypassing Arianism entirely. This wasn't just personal piety, it was strategic genius. The Catholic Church provided 3 resources no barbarian king could easily obtain elsewhere. First, learned administrators. Literate clergy who could actually run a government, draft laws, keep records. Second, financial assets, church lands and accumulated wealth. Third, spiritual authority, legitimacy in the eyes of the Roman population. The Franks now ruled. Clovis gained access to all 3. The timing gave the Franks a massive advantage. The Visigoths didn't convert to Catholicism until 589 CE. For nearly 90 years, the Franks had exclusive access to church support in Gaul. 90 years of Catholic bishops cooperating with Frankish kings while resisting Visigothic ones, 90 years of church administrators serving Frankish government, 90 years of spiritual legitimacy that their rivals couldn't match. By the time the Visigoths finally converted, the Franks had already consolidated their position as the dominant power in Western Europe. Clovis played both sides brilliantly. While cultivating the church, he also received the title of consul from the Byzantine emperor. Consul was one of the highest titles in the Roman system. By Clovis's time, it was mostly symbolic, carrying prestige without obligations. Clovis got the appearance of Roman continuity, imperial recognition from Constantinople, without owing the emperor anything in return. He combined Catholic legitimacy with Byzantine recognition with Frankish military power. No other barbarian kingdom achieved this triple combination. Gregory of Tours, our main written source for this period, saw the Franks as a new Israel, a chosen people favored by God. This wasn't just flattery from a bishop seeking royal favor. It was a political theology that justified Frankish rule to everyone: the church, the Roman population, other barbarian tribes, and the Franks themselves. The Franks weren't just conquerors, they were rightful heirs to Rome, blessed by God, recognized by the emperor, supported by the church. This self-conception would shape European history for centuries. This combination of Catholic legitimacy, Roman titles, and the military power created a template. 2.5 centuries later, it will produce Charlemagne and the Holy Roman Empire. The lesson from the Franks is clear. In the post-Roman world, military conquest wasn't enough. The tribes that thrived were those who could claim continuity with Roman civilization, and the Catholic Church was the gatekeeper of that legitimacy. The next time you look at a map of Europe, remember, the borders we see today were shaped by a decision made in a baptismal font around 500 CE.